All right, Shalom. For the fall, we give our praise, glory, and honor to you, how about Shem Shai, by Shem Kodash Bakathum. The honor to the apostles and elders, great millstone, and to all documents across the globe. Pushing the word of truth is sincere. They want to say Shalom. This I die now from the great millstone camp of Chicago with a lesson. Say the lesson, we're going to get into emotions. All right? Emotions are a terrible leader. There are plenty of people who have made mistakes in their lives because they were ruled and controlled by their emotions. All right, and we have to understand we have to control our emotions, all right, because they can lead us into a path that we, a position that we don't want to be in. All right, we're not impulsive, we're not beasts, okay, and we have to understand that, you know. I want to get these precepts written down, Bible shot. One moment. All right, so we're gonna hop into it. This is Proverbs 14:29. So he that is slow to wrath is of great understanding, but he that is hasty of spirit exalteth folly. All right, you know, and wrath is an emotion. It's an anger. It's anger. Let's get into that word real quick. Wrath is anger. All right. It goes to wrath. You know, and it says snout, nose, nostril. When somebody gets angry, what they do? They start breathing real hard. All right, their face starts to change. All right, those are signs that somebody's not in their right mind at that moment. Okay. Proverbs 14:29, he that is slow to wrath is of great understanding. You know, you make better decisions when your mind is clear. All right, that's the word I want. Hold on. All right, you make better decisions when your mind is clear, when you're thinking logically. All right, and not being caught up in a moment. All right, and trying to meet aggression with aggression. All right. Said, but he that is hasty of spirit exalteth folly. You know, a lot of people, you know, you see people get into it, and you know, one person trying to like diffuse it. You know, like, come on, man, you know, it ain't that big of a deal. You know, you don't want to go to jail over all that, right? But a man with no understanding, a man who's controlled by his anger and emotions, if they're gonna go the extra mile. Here you are, a dude just cut you off on the expressway. Now you want to drive 100 miles chasing them down, all right, and shoot out the goddamn windows, and now your ass in jail. You see? You always got to remember that there's always an equal and opposite reaction to every action, man. All right, and when you're controlled by your emotions, you know, your anger, all right, you can have you can bet your bottom dollar that the reaction you're going to get is not going to be good. Okay? And us men of the Lord, as we're walking around and we're seeing, we're supposed to have the Spirit on us and Spirit of discernment, all right, hey, we should be able to recognize these things, man. All right, when somebody is not being perceptive or receptive to reason. That's another one. You know? So we got to be careful that we're not like those men, like those people who are going around being ruled by emotions, man. All right? This is Proverbs 29 and 20. Seest thou a man that is hasty in his words? There is more hope of a fool than him. All right? Now, we don't want to be saying things out of anger, out of spite. Okay? We said life and death lie in the power of the tongue. You know, and we have to be able to manage our words. the words you speak determines what kind of mood you are in. All right. So if you have, so you're witnessing um, uh, somebody that's, um, mumbling about under their breath and, cursing, out loud and just being irate. Well, you should try to avoid that person. You should try to avoid offending that person because they're, at that moment, they are being ruled by their emotions. They, right then and there, they are in no mind frame to negotiate, to reason, to ponder, to think about, to think logically, all right, how to diffuse the situation. They're riled up. They're being very indignant. You may want to go the other way. You may just want to just take that L, all right, and walk away from that person, man. All right, because there's no reasoning with people who are not able to listen to reason. All right. Ecclesiastes 7 and 9, it says, "Be not hasty in thy spirit to be angry, for anger resteth in the bosom of fools." Okay? And we're supposed to be peacemakers. All right, we're supposed to be mild-mannered. We're supposed to be calm, cool, calm, collected when we're out. All right, we shouldn't be easily offended at the ways of these emotional GMO babies, Israelites. Okay? We have to expect the animalistic behavior that these that the majority of our people possess. Okay? Being angry leads you to a place to where you are no longer in control of yourself. You done blacked out, and now you're sitting there with a bloody baseball bat in your hand, and your baby mama on the floor. All right? Why? Because we can't control our anger. Every nail is not a problem that got to get hammered down. All right? We're not here to make mountains out of molehills, man. Okay? Our emotions are a telltale sign of our maturity. Okay? And we got to take heed, all right, that we don't fall to the following of our emotions. Having our emotions lead us and tossing us here, tossing us there, because we can't get it together. Because one word will rile you up, and now you want to go shoot the block up. You see? I'm focusing on anger because that's a big part of our problem and our with our people, man. It's angry, being bitter, being unruly. All right? Ecclesiastes 5 and 2 said, "Be not rash with thy mouth, and let not thine heart be hasty to utter anything before the Most High. For the Most High is in heaven, and thou upon the earth. Therefore let thy words be few." All right? Sometimes you can get yourself in a lot of trouble by saying extra. I take the stance when, for those of us who've had a misfortune of being interrogated by the police, all right, is that you don't say much. You lawyer up. All right? Don't be talking too much. Because in your and you're speaking of words, you can have situations get worse. All right, you can make a bad situation worse by by continuing on in a back and forth with somebody who clearly shows they have a lack of self-control. All right? Proverbs let me see, I think 8. Yep, Proverbs 8. Proverbs 25 and 8 says, "Go not forth hastily to strive, lest thou know not what to do in the end thereof, when thy neighbor hath put thee to shame. Debate thy cause with thy neighbor himself, and discover thou the secret to another, lest he that heareth it put thee to shame, and thine infamy turn not away." Okay? And I brought that out because, we can have our emotions lead us into a quarrel or a fight that you're not capable of winning. Your anger can have you taking brothers to counsel over something petty or minute that you could have handled privately, but because you're led by your anger and your emotions, all right, that counsel goes against you. All right, so we got to be careful about how we go about things in our emotions, because people are looking, they're watching, and it can be very embarrassing to go out there huffing and puffing, being Big Billy Badass, and get your ass put to shame, all right, by a 120-pound nerdy kid with glasses, man. All right? To debate thy cause with thy neighbor himself, discover thou the secret to another. All right? When you're going back and forth with brothers or back and forth with people, all right, don't be trying to hurt them even more with personal attacks. All it does is what? All it does is spread the fire, man. All right? Let's get this real quick. I had a couple more precepts I wanted to get. Let's get this. This is Sirach 28:12. "If thou blow the spark, it shall burn. If thou spit upon it, it shall be quenched. And both these come out of thy mouth." All right? We are putting water on the fire is our first line of defense. All right? It's trying to stop the situation from getting worse, to stop from other things coming out that could lead to more strife or to escalate situations, man. All right? There's nothing wrong with taking a low, being humble, patronizing these people at times, man. No, I mean, you got it, man. You're right. I'm sorry. I apologize. I spilled that on you. Hey, man, well, let me get you another one. You see? But if you're always on the defensive, everybody's your enemy, you don't know how to talk to people, all right, then you're just asking for trouble, man. All right? There's nothing wrong with tucking your tail and living to fight another day, picking and choosing your battles, man. Okay? Our job is to put fires out, man. All right? We're Smokey the Bear. Only you can prevent forest fires, all right? And that's our job, to spit upon it, all right, and not to exasperate the situation, man. Okay? To debate thy cause with thy neighbor himself, and discover not a secret to another, lest he that heareth it put thee to shame, and thine infamy turn not away. It says, the New Living Translation says, others may accuse you of gossip, you will never regain your good reputation. All right, so we don't want to be known as a talebearer, a gossiper, man, a revealer of secrets, man. All right, all we got is our name. All we have is our reputation. All right, and we want to make sure that our reputation is as clean as possible. All right, that our emotions are in check, and they were not led astray by the moment that we're in right at that point in time. Okay. About 28. It says, he that hath no rule. Hold on, let me see something real quick. All right. This is Proverbs 25 and 28. He that have no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls. All right, so you don't have no self-control. You're always being led by your emotions. All right, and you're going and making decisions by every whim that enters into your mind. Then you're not going to have any defense against nothing, because people could easily rile you up. And I was that person in school, man. You could say something and I'll get riled up. Next thing you know, I'm sitting in the principal's office, man, getting ready to go home for 10 days or getting kicked out. All right? Emotions are a terrible leader, man. Okay? Let's get this. It says, Sirach 37 and 16, it said, let reason go before every enterprise and counsel before every action, man. All right, so we probably men of understanding, men of counsel, men of good judgment. We should be thinking about these things, all right, before we start making rash and hasty decisions based upon how we feel at that moment. Okay? It's very important that we think before we react. Count the cost. You see? So with that, I want to say, Kal Halal, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, the honor to the apostles and the elders of the great millstone. Till next time, Shalom and a Baba Bar.